Welcome to the 2024 IPF World Open Classic Powerlifting Championships. We are live from Druskininkai, Lithuania.
Powerlifting is a sport composed by three main disciplines called lifts. They are, in order, the squat, the bench press, and the deadlift. Each athlete has 3 attempts with 1 minute per attempt to start the lift. There are 3 referees, and each of them give a white light in case of a good lift and a red light in case of a no lift.
The athletes are separated per weight, age and sex category. The sum of each of the best attempts per lift builds the total, and the athlete with the bigger total is the winner. In case of a draw, the lighter lifter wins.
The squat is the first movement of the competition. On that lift, the use of the legs and the back is extremely important. Once the athlete stands erect with his knees locked and the bar on his back, the central referee gives the squat command. The lifter then bends his knees and lowers his body until the top surface of the legs at the hip joint are lower than the top surface of his knees. He then comes back up, locking his knees and hips in order to complete the lift. The central referee will then give the rack command, and the athlete has to put the bar on the squat rack. There are 3 main mistakes to avoid in order to not have a no lift on the squat. First, if the athlete isn't standing erect with his knees locked at the beginning and at the end of the squat event. Second, if the proper competition depth isn't reached at the bottom of the movement. Third, if the athlete doesn't complete the lift with a single upward movement, meaning if the bar goes down during the ascent of the movement.
IPF World Championships here live in Lithuania. I'm Ryan Lapidat, accompanied in a booth with Joe Whiteley. And this is the women's 69 kilo class and men's 93 kilo class. And Joe, in the 93s, we have quite the battle ahead of us with USA's Brandon Petrie, a fast upstart, but he will be met on the platform with recent Sheffield champion Gustav Hedlund from Sweden, as well as Emil Krastov from Bulgaria, and of course Carlos coming in just last minute to make weight and enter the battle. But first, we have the 69 kilo class where the returning champion, Leah Bavois, will face off against 63 kilo world champion, moving up Carola Gara. These two ladies have faced several times, and the rivalry continues today.
Of course, there's more on the line than just world titles and medals today. We have World Game qualification as well for the top 3.
167.5 for Tasman Campbell.
One of 2 Brits we have in this class. They have a long history of going toe-to-toe. Nice and easy there for Tasman.
Squat on point, and that's exactly how you want your opener to look. Sarah Tavares of Brazil, 175 kilos for her opening squat.
Now, Sarah is World Games alumni already. She's attended 2 World Games in the equipped. We see her more in the equipped than we do in the classic.
48 years old, 15-year veteran.
Oh, Ryan, that's a tough opener.
Yeah, it does not look like there's not a lot of room to grow from there. She smiles it off, the veteran that she is, but that's got to be a little surprising for Team Brazil.
Yeah, she squatted 187.5 in the recent past, so doesn't bode well, but maybe she just made a small mistake.
182.5 for Gabby Martinez of USA. 27 years old, already a 10-year veteran. Gabby, definitely a podium threat. Training has gone very well leading into these World Championships.
She hit 200.5 at her national championships in March, opening here with 182.5. That was super easy.
Yeah, she makes easy work of 182.5, and there is a lot left there. The bar speed for Gabby, right on point, never loses position.
Perfect for an opener. You don't want to tire yourself out, you just want to get on the board.
Representing Slovakia, former world champion Ivana Horna, 182.5.
Now this is a return to competition for Ivana. She had a terrible accident. I'm not quite sure what she did, but she hurt her arm quite badly. She was out of competition for quite a while.
Oh wow, that was laborious at best.
She is a bit of a grinder, but that didn't look super easy for an opener.
Yeah,
She does have a habit of making everything look hard.
she didn't look overly stressed walking off the platform. Now we'll see where she goes from here. And the pride of Great Britain, Annie Nelson, 190 kilos. And this is a rather big opener for Annie, but if you've been following her training online, she's never looked this strong.
She's been going from strength to strength. In the last year or so, maybe in the last 2 years since she committed to this weight class, she has become phenomenally strong.
It's a whole new Annie Nelson in 2024. There's a lot of podium aspirations for Annie Nelson. And Marta Chenner, representing Norway, 190 kilos, stays on the bar.
This is a big opener for Marta. I have her best in international competition as 197.5 from Sun City. But she's another lifter. I think she's really come into her own in the last year or so. She's looked great at Euros.
Let's see how this moves. I'm intrigued. With Marta, at one point she hit 542.5 for a total. Struggled to meet that. Had high hopes in 2022 to possibly take the World Championship. She was #1 nomination and hasn't lived up to those previous expectations. And that opener, stitch slow.
Sure.
And here she
Oh,
is.
here we go.
63 kilo world champion from 2023, moved up in the weight class to rejuvenate the rivalry with current 69 kilo world champion Lia Bavois. Representing Italia, Carola Gara, 207.5, and this is a big opener for Carola. She's never opened this heavy before, but look how she handles it.
But as you say, she's moved up the weight class.
Well, she was a 69 in Sheffield.
She was, but she had been competing within 6 months as a 63, so she's had a bit more time to get into the weight class.
Yeah, acclimatizing to the new weight class.
And I think it suits her.
Lia Bavois, 212.5 kilos for her opening squat. Also, the biggest opening squat we've ever seen for Lia. the defending world champion from France.
Now she's retreated from the platform. It looks like the squat rack height wasn't right. I'm not seeing the time being reset though, so she's going to have to get on with it.
Leah, the wily veteran she is, I'm sure she'll get under there in time.
I hope she understands that the clock wasn't reset and she only has 20 seconds. Of course, she only has to get the start command. She doesn't have to complete the lift in that time. But I'd like to see her get under the bar really quickly now.
And there it is. Look, if it looks a stitch slower for an opener, we got to keep in mind it wasn't the exact setup she had anticipated. Slightly rushed. 2-1, it's good though.
She has got that kind of stance where it might look high from the front, but the side refs are happy and that's all that matters.
Yeah, very close squat.
So that's where we are at the end of the first round, with Leah Bavois ahead of Garrett, ahead of Jenna.
On to the second round as Tasman Campbell of Great Britain kicks us off with 175 kilos.
Looking good.
Yeah, that's a smooth second attempt for Tasman in Great Britain. Sarah Tavares of Brazil, 182.5.
Now she's gone up 7.5, Ryan. Her opener did not look easy.
Yeah, it's a bold move. We are at the World Championships. But if you start grinding early, things are going to get a heck of a lot heavier later on in the day.
Ryan, I've just seen Leah Bavois has put a world record attempt in for her second. Of course, it's her own world record.
Oh, wow, at 48 years old, finds a second gear for her second attempt.
Well, it was a grinder, but it certainly went.
She's buying my confidence. I'd be comfortable with her going up another 5. $187.5 kilos loaded for Ivana Horna of Slovakia.
But it looks like she wasn't super confident after that opening squat because she's only taken a 5 kilo increment.
As you said, she can grind. She has the heart of a lion, but everybody has a limit, and there's 2 more attempts left.
And this is her first World Championship back from serious injury.
Wow. In classic Ivana Horna style. Although it begs the question, Joe, how many more kilos would you put on for her third and final squat?
I would say 5, given that she's taken a 5 kilo jump to this. But I wouldn't be surprised to see her to put 2.5 on.
I would caution towards 5, but I also would not be surprised if she puts on more. Gabby Martinez, representing USA, a sizable 10-kilo jump, 192.5. And here's a reminder why you gotta look at these openers, take them with a grain of salt. Some people open light, some people open a lot closer to their top end. A lot can happen once the action starts.
Gabby's opener was really fast. And we know she's done more than this in the past, so this should be comfortable.
It's her first World Championships. I like how Team USA proceeding with caution, building the confidence, and that will build even more confidence. Very smooth 192 for Gabby. Hits depth. Bar tracks down up. Perfect form by Gabby. Looks plenty more in the tank. And 200 kilos even for Great Britain's Annie Nelson.
This match is the most she's ever done on the competition platform. But her training has been on fire recently.
Ordinarily, it would look like Gabby, a solid favorite to hit that podium, but with ladies like Annie Nelson in the pack, it's really anybody's day.
She's got more.
Looks like she's just heating up. Nods her head to the Great Britain coaching staff, loaded up. .200 kilos stays on the bar for Norway's Marta Chenner. We thought 190 kilos was a bit of work for an opener. This is 10 kilos beyond that, Joe. What do you think?
I think she's never hit 200 on the platform before. But she has been coming strong. She has been coming through. She was at the Euros. She looked great. She went 9 for 9, I believe.
Might be a fight early.
No.
It was ambitious, if I'm honest. I had some doubts. It was based off the opener. Sometimes if the battle plan was 200 kilos for the second, you really do got to call audibles when your opener is a bit more difficult than anticipated.
I think she went deeper than on her first one. And I think that might have just killed her drive.
She does have one more squat and one more opportunity, but here is Italia's Carola Gara, 217.5, also a 10 kilo jump. The difference being 207.5 moved very well for her.
And she's done 220 on the platform before. She did 220 at Sheffield in March.
Wow, that was picture perfect for a second.
As you say, great attempt selection for a second. She's got room to move up.
Unquestionable depth. No sign of slowing down. And up next, a world record second attempt by the reigning world champion, Leah Bavois, 225.5 kilos.
It's her own record. She set this earlier this year. And she put so many kilos on her squat at Sheffield this year. And she's taking it for a second attempt this time.
Leah Bavois being pushed to new heights.
Now between them, Carola Gara and Leah Bavois broke this record 4 times earlier this year.
Well, if Leah is going to retain her crown, she needs to pick up kilos in the squat event.
That was good, but do you know, I think it was deeper than her first.
I'm going to have to see the slow-mo replay on this and see what happened. Paying close attention to Leah Bavois' facial expression as she leaves the platform.
Yeah, I expected her to smoke that, if I'm honest. But she's leaving herself open to Carola Gara now. And Carola Gara is actually leading the way, 5 kilos ahead. And Annie Nelson is in third.
And that's an unexpected turn of events in the second round of squatting. Nobody expected Leah to miss her second. She does have another attempt left, and 180 for Tasman Campbell. As the crowd is a little bit hush and some discussion going on.
Yeah, I think that was a big surprise for everyone.
It's not over yet.
That was a great attempt selection there for Tasman Campbell. The coach is getting every kilo they can out of her.
Team Great Britain has done a fantastic job thus far in the World Championships with attempt selection. Obviously navigating Jerins Kingamu to a surprising 83 kilo win. Nancy Sarah Tavares, 187.5.
She's gone up another 5. It was quite a grind on the second, though.
Yeah, but I think we both agreed she looks ready for another grind.
She's definitely a fighter.
To be on the platform, competing amongst the world's best at 48 years old, after 15 years of competition, it's quite the feat. Oh, wow, got hurt.
It looked for a minute like she'd caught that and she was going to push through, but it was just a bit too much.
I don't fault them for loading it. It was reasonable. Slovakia's Ivana Horna, 192.5.
Another lifter who had a bit of a difficult grind on her second.
Ivana is that special type of lifter. When the weight gets heavier, she just seems to level up with the intensity. Can she do it one more time? Oh, nope.
That was close, but unfortunately not.
You'll see when the fight comes a few inches out of the hole here, the weight starts helicoptering towards the right, and she correctly weights it off. Once you lose the bar path like that,
Yeah, there it goes.
you might as well call it because you can risk injury. Well done by the veteran to recognize. And Gabby Martinez, 200 kilos even. Gabby's done this before.
And both the squats so far have looked great.
I'm not sure if, I'm surprised she's not taking more, the way her training's been going. This is going to be a very difficult task to get onto the podium.
But if you look at the projected totals right now, there are 3 lifters within 5 kilos of each other, all fighting for that podium place. So I think this is being conservative and taking what they can.
You know what, the way that moved, maybe 2.5 more might have been asking too much. I mean, whatever you've been doing in training is one thing. On the day of, you have to have those conversations in the warm-up room and before each and every lift. And look at this, it was a bit of work.
She did get a red card from the side referee, but 2-1's good enough.
200 kilos even, once again for Martha Chenner. You know, when you go into the back, sometimes the right inspiration is all you need.
And there is a man who can give inspiration. She has Kjell Backeland in her corner, legend in his own right.
Multiple-time world champion. Oh! I thought for a second she might have had it.
That's a real shame. That'll really hurt her in the competition now. She's left kilos behind. She must have expected to be able to push through that.
Coming into this, nominated 4th, definitely a podium threat, but with just one squat, it's going to be difficult. Annie Nelson, 205. Wow, the Brits in the crowd.
Well, there's a Scottish contingent in the crowd, and Annie Nelson is British, but possibly more importantly, she's Scottish.
Will all that hard work pay off? Oh, and that is strength personified. Annie Nelson, 3 for 3 in the squat event, all-time best, 205. And if Gabby Martinez wants that bronze medal or podium spot, she's got a fight coming. Bit of a rivalry here between Great Britain and Team USA. Carola Garra, 222.5 for her third and final.
Not being tempted by that record being so close by. You can get a little bit distracted sometimes.
I think it's the proper move by Team Italy. Not surprised they're making these moves. And it would be somewhat surprising if she leaves the squat event ahead of Leah Bavois. Oh, and she had room, Joe.
She really did. She is loving this weight class.
Look at, if Leah isn't on point, Carola for sure is. Take a look at this, the speed.
Superb.
You know what, I like the attempt selection, but I'm gonna be honest, she might have had the world record.
I think she would have. I think she would.
I think they made the right move. It's always 20/20 hindsight, but speaking of the world record, 225.5 for Leah Bavois. Can she make the adjustments and retain the lead, as well as pick up what might be a very much needed chip? She also has lower body weight.
See, neither of these two has grown into the class yet. Leah is 66, Garra is 67, body weight. We've got more to come from these two.
It's different this time. Oh!
It's not going.
And talk about emptying the tank for that squat, though. Tons of heart by Leah Bavois, but just a stitch too much on the day. Look at this fight she gives. Hits depth and refusing to give.
But as you say, Carola Garra had more left. She's retained some energy.
You know,
how much has Leah got left? So Garra takes the gold in squat, and Leah takes the silver, Nelson the bronze. That was a shocker, Ryan.
That was not how we thought the squat event would go. However, there's a lot of lifting left to go, and what happens if Garra starts missing and Leah doesn't miss ever again? Now we got ourselves right back into a neck-and-neck race. It's not over yet, but we will take no intermission and head right on into the 93s, 245 for Kwaku of Canada. Kwaku's done a lot more than this. Team Canada taking a nice, easy opener to get him on the board. There should be no major exertion needed.
Yeah, nice and easy.
Yep.
He did 275 in March at Western Canadians. So I think that was, like you say, just an easy one on the board.
$275 for Sletten of Norway.
Competed at the Europeans in Croatia in March, and he hit 290 that day.
Solid opener. Yeah, it's difficult. You don't want to read too much into an opener. Sometimes you see a little shakiness, and it could just be nerves leaving the body. It's the first lift in a world championship, in a heavily hyped battle at that.
And some lifters shake on every lift, no matter what.
That's true. 285 for Christian Ayandokun of Great Britain. Christian has hit 20 kilos over this in the past. 3-division national champion. A legend back home. And if any of the top contenders start missing, Christian could be a podium threat himself.
He was so fast into the hole though.
Likes to bomb it in at the bottom. Take a look at the speed at this descent. slows around the midpoint.
So he made really good use of the stretch reflex, but it's a little bit of a dodgy game. If you don't keep really tight, then you're gonna fail halfway up.
Maxwell Gemfi, representing Great Britain as well, 285. Just 2 years into powerlifting.
Yeah, he's a Brit. I haven't actually seen him lift before. It's his first World Championships.
He has a very similar style to Christian.
He does. He's about the same as his top end as well. Christian's done 305. Maxwell's done 302.5. A little bit of an in-house rivalry going on.
Look at the dive at the bottom, in and out of the hole very quickly. But he looked, if I gotta say, a little more solid coming out of that hole. As we have a side-by-side, back-to-back comparison. And here is previous podium finisher, Emil Krastev of Bulgaria, 290 kilos for his opening squat. And he is not just a podium threat. Believe me, he's a threat for the overall title.
Posted some incredible numbers in training, but he has to do them on the platform.
Wow. This is an indication what he's got on the day. He's ready.
He's got a lot.
895 kilos is the world record. Krastev, in training anyways, has hit as high as 906. For a little bit of comparison, can he do it on the platform today? Will he need more? Questions yet to be answered. Brendan Petrie, 295, the heavily hyped, much anticipated world's debut. Brendan all smiles.
Hit 315 at his nationals in March. Never seen him in the IPF before.
At the Nationals, tying Gustav Hedlund's world record at 895. He is capable. Oh!
And he is on form today.
He is on form today.
I think we've got a fight on our hands.
Yeah,
and we've barely begun.
That is a warning shot to Sweden, to Bulgaria, to Guyane, and 300 kilos for the world record holder, Gustav Hedlund. Gustav, former junior world champion, and despite holding the world record total, has never won an open world championship. Oh my goodness, Joe.
That was phenomenal from Gustav.
It was so fast, I couldn't finish my sentence introducing this young man, and judging by the smirk on Gustav's face, who's usually so stoic.
He is. But he's been on the podium so many times. He's been European champion, and he's always missed out on this one, the big one, the World Championship gold.
Now, Carlos Pedersen Griffith, 305, Guyana, literally landed in his plane from the other side of the world today, made weight with 30 seconds on the clock, which might be a record in and of itself.
It might be. We heard he hadn't made weight.
And opening with the heaviest squat. Is this bold? Is this foolish? We're about to find out. Oh my goodness! If he, don't let me get ahead of myself, but if he can pull off,
a last second weight cut, last second making weight.
The story it would be, and that moved like an appropriate opener.
Now, he had the squat world record for about a minute earlier this year. It's taken off him almost immediately. So the scores there, we have the B group on the screen as well.
And
B group lifted earlier today.
Yeah, so obviously Carlos in the lead. It's very early to be looking at leads though after openers, but as we enter into the second attempts, 262.5 for Kwaku of Canada. 245 moved very well.
Well, we did have a 327.5 kilo squat in the B group earlier. So he may well medal from there. That was fast. 3 white lights for Kwaku.
Solid second attempt for Team Canada, and Sletten of Norway, 290. Trygve look relatively solid with 275. 15 kilos might slow you down a little though, Joe.
He did this for his second at the Euros. Oh, but it has slowed him down.
Yeah. He's good for it. He never really got pulled out of position.
But he hasn't really got anywhere to go for his third.
It's going to be tight. I would say maybe 5 kilos. As long as he holds form, he might be able to fight through it. Christian Ayandokun, 297.5.
It was fast down, it was fast up again.
3 white lights, and Christian is on point today.
Hard to read the right. I've got no idea how much he's going to put on after that.
Well, 305 range was previous top end. Maybe matching that?
Maybe so.
Maxwell, 300 kilos even. Him and Christian starting in the same place. But Maxwell trying to establish a bit of a spread with his fellow Brit here in the squat event.
They're quite evenly matched, but Maxwell has the bigger bench.
In the projected, only 2.5 kilos separates them. This is going to be a tight battle in the Battle of Britain. Wow.
Slowed him down some. I think he's still got a few kilos left.
Yeah, I think he could maintain his lead with another 5 kilos. Emil Krastev, 305 kilos. Sizable 15 kilo jump, still 2.5 kilos below his personal best.
I think this might give us some kind of indication what kind of shape he's in. Is he in the 906 kind of shape? He might be.
2-1, it's good.
Now let's see a side replay of that, because he got a depth call from one side. The hip must be below the top surface of the leg.
Yeah, that was right close on the line, but 2-1 it gets in. And 310 kilos for America's Brendan Petrie. with his top end being 315. We knew 295 was going to move quick, but 310 is going to give us a lot better indication where his top end is going to be today.
I think he's got more.
Definitely more. Does he equal his previous best of 315? Or does he tempt fate and go beyond that? That's a tough call.
Well, he's currently projected in 4th.
Yeah,
So I
but
think he's going to have to push a little. He's got a big deadlift though, hasn't he?
projections will lie to
Yeah.
you. Yeah, he might be pulling last depending on what Carlos has. It's either him or
So
Carlos pulling
maybe
last.
put a conservative third squat in, save it for the deadlift, save some energy.
I think that might be the prudent choice because Gustav Hedlund, 315, he squatted 325. Brendan will outpull Gustav.
He's in great shape.
Yeah, he's in tip-top shape. 3 white lights.
And he has the confidence. He was the Sheffield winner this year. He won the big money meet in the UK in March. And that's going to give you some confidence, some momentum coming into this competition.
And here he is. Carlos Peterson Griffith, 325. Again, just arriving from the other side of the world today.
I can't imagine putting together a competition of this standard, just having arrived from the airport. No chance for a sleep.
Making weight at the very last second. I feel like each and every lift, we're going to look for it to finally catch up to him. Will 325 slow him much? And this is incredible.
He sped up. That
And
was
this is
faster than his
incredible.
opener.
And look at the swagger he has.
I think he should have.
8 hours ago, he was in multiple time zones away. 8 hours later, he's vying for the world title.
A little bit confusing as we have the B group included there, and Betan Alha from the B group is still leading the way ahead of Peterson Griffith.
Canada's Kwaku, 275. This will equal his personal best. But this time, it's at the World Championships.
Looking strong. And Ryan, we've seen that Carlos Peterson Griffiths has put in the world record attempt for his third squat. There is no stopping him.
It would be the most incredible story if he could pull off the upset. Sletton, 295.
His second was tough, so I think 5 kilos may or may not go. He looked to be on his limit with 290.
Oh, you're right. Nice eye, Joe. Although I'll give him this, didn't look like he expended too much energy in that failed attempt.
That is very true. If you're struggling against the weight for ages, that really drains your energy reserves.
.305 for Maxwell Jemfe.
2.5 kilos more than he's done before. Taking a smaller jump than his teammates, so he's come out first this time.
That's interesting. Relinquishing the lead temporarily in the Battle of Britain.
We know that Christian likes to take big jumps, particularly on deadlift.
looked like he got some bounce from the bottom, and when the weight really came on, there was a sticking point in a fight, but he battles through it. Take a look at this on the replay.
Didn't let it throw him around, kept his position beautifully.
I think 305, perfect attempt call by the British. 307.5 now for Christian. Small personal best for Ian Dokun.
Gets him ahead of his teammate as well. You know there's going to be some rivalry there.
Very similar to his teammate.
Bang on the money.
Perfect attempt selection. Excellent execution. Both Brits 3 for 3.
Yeah, great work from Christian though.
Up next, 312.5 kilos for Emil Krastev. And in terms of comparison, whether Gustav Hedlund and Brendan Petrie are close to their previous personal best, they're somewhat pacing. Whereas Emil looks like if he could hit this, he's going to start pulling away and put something up we've never seen from him before. Oh!
I thought that had ground to a halt. But he got it moving again.
Is today the day?
He's another lifter that's been on the podium so many times, never managed to get to the top step. That was a great squat.
All right, well, Brendan Petrie, 315 his previous personal best, 320 Brendan, trying to hold serve. The fellow contenders are pushing past anything they've ever put up. If Brendan wants that title, he's going to have to do the same. He's hit this in training leading into the World Championships.
But it's very different when you have to fly to a different country and do it on the platform.
This could answer a lot of questions, whether you can meet the standard. Oh! And Brendan Petrie is also on point today. An emotional Petrie, thanking the crowd for their support.
We have got a dogfight on our hands. Paused it for good measure.
That definitely wasn't intentional, but I love that you give him the credit for it. And unlike the 69 kilo class, the title threats thus far are all hitting. Can Gustav maintain the pace? 327.5, small personal best for him. Whoa, and that looked as solid as a second.
Phenomenal squatting from Gustav Hedlund.
We know his previous best was 895. Same with Brendan Petrie. Both of these gentlemen looking like over 900 kilos, definitely on the table.
We could see a podium over 900 kilos today.
And then comes the miracle man, the man of mystery. 337.5. Sorry, go ahead, Joe.
Possibly do this after the difficulty he's had with the late visa, the late travel, made weight, as you say, 30 seconds to go.
If he can pull off a world record under those conditions, I don't want to hear an excuse from anybody.
The bravery of him even to attempt this is just incredible, but his second squat was fantastic.
That's a reasonable attempt selection. Oh my goodness!
I can't believe what I'm seeing. Oh!
2-1 on depth, and the national team coach heading on over to the jury as they review it.
We have a 5-man jury, a 3-2
you know what?
decision. could
From that
do it.
angle, it kind of looked good to me.
But that is the angle he got a white from. And they've
The
overruled!
jury
It's the world record!
and the plot continues to get sweeter for Carlos. The crowd showing their
Jury
appreciation.
giveth as well as taketh away, and Carlos Peterson Griffiths takes the world record, the squat gold. Ben Taller from the B group takes the silver, and Headland takes the squat bronze.
The bench press is the second movement performed in a powerlifting competition. It's a movement that mainly uses upper body strength. A slight back arch is authorized and allows for a stronger and healthier shoulder positioning. Laying down on the bench, the athlete has to create points of contact between his head, shoulder, glutes and the bench. His feet has to lay flat on the ground with the heels in the contact with the floor. Once that position is locked, the central referee gives the start command. The lifter lowers the bar until it touches his chest. The lower underside of both of his elbow joints have to be at level, or below the top surface of each shoulder joint. He then has to stabilize the bar for the referee to give him the press command. The lifter has to push the bar back up until the complete extension of his elbows. The central referee gives the rack command and the lift is completed.
There are 4 main reasons to have a no lift on that movement. First, if you're not able to fully extend your elbows at the beginning and at the end of the movement. Second, if you don't touch the chest with the bar, or if your elbows don't go at level or below the top of your shoulder joint. Third, if you're not able to maintain all points of contact with the bench, knowing the head, the shoulders, and the butt. Fourth, if the lift isn't completed in a single upward movement.
And we are back. Joe, we had some surprises.
We've had a few surprises. We had the surprises in the women's when Leah Bavois didn't get her world record squat. She only got 1 squat in. But Ryan, what a surprise in the men's squat session.
Yeah, it was not to script that Leah Bavois, the current world record holder in squats, would only move forward with her opener. Also not to script that Carlos Peterson Griffith, coming in so late and so many question marks around him, easily amongst the top title contenders, the least experienced, showing such poise and walking away with such a large squat.
Initially turned down, and it was overruled by the jury. Sometimes the jury give as well as taking away.
A dramatic squat session. Let's see what the bench press gives us. As Cicera Tavares, 87.5, representing Brazil.
Now, she's done as much as 102.5 in the past. Recent times, though, it's been a little bit under 100. And Ryan, we have World Games qualification on the table at this one. The top 3 will receive invitations. Do you think that changes the strategy slightly?
I think it might. To get onto the podium means a lot more. Obviously, a bronze medal is far more coveted at this position. And looking in the women's 69 kilo class, there are, like you had said before, contenders around 5 of them very closely on these nominations.
So people might put more effort into defending the bronze than they otherwise would. Shoot for the bronze instead of, overextending a little bit to go for the silver.
At the top as well, with Carola Gara and Leah Bavois, 2 giants in the division.
And of course, Garrett is such a big bencher.
Ivana Horna, 100 kilos even. Three white lights.
Always been a great bencher, Ivana. Good to see her coming back after that terrible injury.
Annie Nelson, 107.5 kilos for her opening bench.
She hit 115 at the Europeans. That was back in December. May have improved a little since then.
Depending on how on this moves, it might be a second attempt at this point. Well, I'd be comfortable with 115 for a second.
Smoked it. So much on the line, though. It's the first time that we've had raw lifting in the World Games, so it's the first time that these lifters have been competing for those places. It's going to mean a lot.
Gabby Martinez of USA, 112.5.
She did 120 at Raw Nats in March. So this should be nice and easy. I think easy was an understatement.
Yeah. Looked like that could have been done in the warm-up room. But again, they paced her like this in the squat event. And in the end, the third and final squat looked like it was definitely her top end. Defending world champ Leah Bavois, 112.5. Be interesting to see if she's discouraged at all moving forward with just her opener.
Well, this is the heaviest she's ever opened on bench. So that doesn't sound very discouraged. She didn't change her attempt.
I moved like an opener should. $117.5 for Britain's Tasman Campbell. Tasman, 40 years old herself. We have two master lifters lifting in Group A of the 69 kilo class.
Strength accumulation takes time. It's not a young man's game. Our junior category goes up to age 23 because we don't expect people to be in full strength before that.
Makes easy work, a 117.5. Marta Chenner, 120 kilos.
She broke the European bench record twice at the Europeans in Estonia last year. 128 she finished with. But given her struggles on squat, this is a big opener on bench.
The same question marks as we have with Leah Bavois. Was it a bad squat event and everything else is fine? The bench, the deadlift? Or is she just off today? It's difficult to read too much into an opener, but
I couldn't tell from that one. Maybe from her second.
and the monster bench presser of the division, Carola Gara, 140 kilos for her opening attempt.
She hit 150 back in March.
For a little perspective, 154 is the world record.
Easy. And if you're wondering who has the bench world record, that's easy. It's Agata Shitko. She has the world record in the 69s, the 76s, and the 84s.
So quick question for you. Based off of that 140, is the world record possibly in reach by the third attempt?
It's 154. Might just be a little bit too far out for today. Be great to see her attempt it though. She's leading the way right now on bench.
So Sarah Tavares, 92. So Sarah Tavares, 92.5 kilos for her second attempt. 5 kilo jump from her opener.
She was fast off the chest there. I think she went on the very P of the press.
Yeah, quick on the chest, around the midpoint. Slowed, but able to lock it out. Ivana Horna 105 for her second attempt. Ivana, 34 years old, 12 years in the game, has dealt with various different injuries as well as shoulder injuries. But 110, her previous PR, and if she can hit this.
Oh, she can grind. Wow.
Yeah, hats off to her for that grind, but I don't believe we're going to see.
I don't think she will.
I
Maybe
think
not even come out for another one. Save the energy.
I'd be entirely fine with that decision.
Doesn't look to me like there's any more there.
Britain's Annie Nelson, 112.5 for her second attempt.
So you said you'd be happy with her putting 115 on for her second. They've gone for 112.5. And I think conservative approach is going to be what does it this time. You can't leave a kilo behind. You can't take any risks or overreach.
Yeah, you know what? That's probably a second attempt right there. Looking at that with sober eyes, I would say, what, 5 more kilos?
Maybe so. But she's in the fight. She's really in the fight for the podium place. Yeah, she's put another 2.5 in. I'm happy to see that.
Gabby Martinez of the USA, 120.
This is one of those competitions where you can't miss. You can't miss a single lift.
So if Team Britain is exercising caution, the Americans taking a 7.5 kilo jump to equal Gabby's previous personal best on the platform. A little more bold than they were in the squat event.
But she smoked her opener.
That would be why.
She's got another 5 there, I think she is. She has got a red card failure from the centre referee, and that's elbow depth. So the bottom of the elbow must be at least parallel with the middle of the shoulder joint. I think that should be good.
Jury overturned it. Oh.
Oh.
And when you have a podium contender losing out at that.
And that's difficult to adjust for on the fly. I think her right arm was slightly higher than her left. So maybe just one elbow was a little high.
120 for Leah Bavois. This is just 2.5 kilos below her personal best. You know, she opened higher than we've ever seen her, but I think she might finish where we've seen her before. I'd be comfortable with another 2.5, but what do you think?
You wouldn't put 5 on?
I just don't want her to miss again after squats. I think some positive momentum.
I think so. I think you're right, to be honest.
If she misses her third, it's really going to be disheartening. Tasman Campbell, 122.5.
Just watching for that attempt to go in. Usually we're encouraging the lifters to push a little bit, try harder. But I think the conservative approach is the one today. She has put 125 on, Ryan. That's looking close to the limit for Tasman.
Yeah, that looked a little more like a third attempt to me. Now they can load on a 2.5 and she can rise to the occasion, but that slowdown around midpoint. Marta Chenner, 125, hovering 3 kilos below her European bench press record.
She needs to start hitting. After only getting 1 squat in, she's going to have to gather some kilos on bench to stay in the fight.
And she's hitting. 2 for 2. Leaving the platform, got her swagger back. Italia's Carola Gara, 147.5 as we inch a little closer to a possible world record attempt.
But she was only 2.5 kilos off the world record on squat, and you know, we think she probably had it in her, and she wasn't tempted by that to overreach. So we could see the same situation on bench. I don't know though.
This is tough.
Oh, she's not got it. Elbow depth.
I need to see the replay.
A replay from the front, please. So we're looking at the elbows compared to the shoulder. The right side was higher than the left. Wow, so that changes things massively. Carola Gara not getting a second bench in, but she's still in the lead on bench.
Bit of a shake-up here. Look, if Leah Bavois goes forward with just her opener and squat and Carola Gara just her opener and bench, we're right back to square one, aren't we?
But Carola did get her opener in, so hopefully she can just, if she just sinks a little bit, just aware of it, I think she'll take the same weight again.
Yeah, she has an opportunity to still hit that 147.5. And Tavares, 97.5, a little too heavy. Team Italy, if you're wondering, asking Gara to retake 147.5. That's obviously a good choice.
Yeah, I think that's the smart move.
.107.5 for Ivana Horna, and Ivana, a titanic effort for 105, but this gutsy young lady walking out to 107.5 will use up all of her attempts.
Yeah, was it brave or foolhardy to come out and use up energy for that?
She just shrugged it off. What am I going to do? I'm at the World Championships. I'll use my 60 seconds. Thank you.
She's a great competitor, competes in weightlifting as well as powerlifting.
Britain's Annie Nelson, 115. She's hit this before. We think she's stronger than she's ever been. I'm expecting this to move. 112.5 was difficult, but 2.5 kilos shouldn't be too much.
Easy. She had a couple more, I think.
Yeah, and the conversation we had after 112.5, it was work. I said 5, they put in 2.5, but here's the thing. Easy for me to say 5 if she misses as a commentator. They're going to need every single kilo. Sometimes you got to play it safe.
And she has energy left. She was comfortable on the squat. She was comfortable on the bench.
And Gabby Martinez, 122.5. Now, she missed 120, but it wasn't on strength. It was on depth. And the Americans know that they're in a fight with Annie Nelson. If she hits this in the projected, which will include this weight as well as both of their opening deadlifts, they will be dead even at 532.5. And Gabby weighing slightly less. You see the strategy the Americans are doing? Okay, so the strategy's proper. Oh, there, and it pays off.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's why Matt Gary of Team USA is who he is.
They have a great coaching team.
Yeah, it's not just about the single attempt selection. It's the bigger picture and what you're trying to achieve and understanding lot number, body weight, and the projected. And how the battle might unfold. 125 for Leah Bavois. Only one squat, but if she can go 3 for 3 in the bench press and carry that positive momentum into the deadlifts.
At subtotal right now, she's 30 kilos behind Gara, but she has a much bigger deadlift.
It just all might be the makings of a dramatic comeback story. The 5 kilos will really help. It's 2.5 more than she's ever done. Oh, and Leah Babwa strikes back. 3 white lights, an entirely different Leah Babwa in the bench press, shrugs off the squat event, and the battle continues.
And that's given us some confidence. And of course you have to. You have a bad squat event, you can't dwell on it, you can't be thinking about it, you have to just move forward.
And it takes guts when you're questioning, was it a bad event or am I overall weaker loading up a personal best and hitting? Now she goes back to the warm-up room. No, I'm fine. I had one bad event. We shake it off. 125 for Tasman Campbell.
She's got it.
Huge effort and 3 white lights for Tasman Campbell.
Great attempt selection there.
Team Britain on point, guiding their lifters. Marta Chenner looking to replicate what Leah Babwa accomplished, shaking off the shaky squat event, going 3 for 3 in bench, 130. Now this is more than her European record.
Yeah.
Leah hit a personal best. Perhaps Chenner can do the same.
She's fighting to stay in touch with Martinez and Nelson. Garrett and Bavwal out in front.
Oh!
Wow.
And Chenner, refusing to be denied, forces herself back into the conversation for the podium.
It's hard to grind a bench like that.
And apparently hard to discourage Marta Chenner.
Came to an absolute stop and she just kept pushing.
Now this is pivotal. 147.5 for Gara.
Can she overcome that bench? It's a hard thing to adjust for on the fly. Maybe just sink it a tiny bit. Maybe bring her grip in one finger.
Weight wasn't an issue. That was better.
She did sink just a tiny bit on the chest.
2 to 1. Let's see the jury.
2-1 though.
That was much, much better.
I thought so. If we can get that replay from the front.
I think that's better myself.
I think we're good.
We wait with bated breath.
So Carola Gara takes the...
No!
It's overruled. Gara still takes the gold. Chenner the silver. Leah Bavois takes the bronze.
And Leah Bavois leaving the squat event with just her opener, and then her rival, Gara, leaving the bench press event with just her opener. And ironically, the squat event is Leah's best, and the bench event is Gara's best. Did not see this happening.
Well, we also didn't see this man breaking the squat world record after only making weight with 30 seconds to go.
Carlos, 165 for his opening bench as we move directly into the 93s.
Now this is the lift that really hurts him. He's got a massive squat, he's got a massive deadlift. He's a little bit behind the pace on bench.
Depending how he feels by the time we get to deadlifts, he might be pulling last. Depending what he does in the bench press event, he might be pulling for the gold medal. Sletten, 180 kilos.
Bench 190 at the Euros, so he's already getting up close to his competition best. That was easy. I wouldn't be surprised if he put 10 kilos on that next.
Now your bench opener really is one of those lifts, if you're ever going to go conservative, it's that one. Too many things can go wrong. Just get yourself on the board. Kwaku of Canada, 190 kilos. There's a rumbling in the crowd as Kwaku makes his way to the platform.
Like rolling thunder as the audience stamp their feet on the bleachers. Bench 205 at Western Canadians. This should be nice and easy.
Makes easy work of 190. And the rumbling continues. I see Brittany Schlater, 84 plus world champion, ready to defend her title later this week.
That audience is packed with world champions and world record holders.
It's like they brought in the Hall of Fame to watch this. Christian Ian Dokun of Great Britain, 195.
Now this is where his teammate's going to pull away a little bit, because Jampy has the bigger bench.
Opener looks on point.
I was just wondering if he racked it before the command, but only the side referee gave him a yellow.
That's interesting.
So let's just take a look. His butt has to keep planted on the bench all the way through. And it does, so can't see what the referee saw there.
America's Brennan Petrie, 197.5.
He's a great guy. He worked the platform at the World Bench Championships in Texas only a couple of weeks ago. Great way to give back to the sport.
Yeah, he's been at the venue each and every day of the World Championships. Bump into him all over town, very approachable. That's a pretty smooth opener.
Relatively narrow grip though.
Yeah.
But he's got long arms. He's got a big deadlift, doesn't he? So he's got deadlift arms.
Depending on Carlos, and what can you say about Carlos? He's unpredictable. Brendan might be pulling last. Gustav Hedlund, 200 kilos even. Current world record holder.
Took the Swedish record in March with 218.
Now, of recent, Gustav has had on and off pec issues. He said he's 100% now. Let's see how his bench moves. Okay.
It moves really well.
I would be entirely comfortable with a 10-kilo jump.
Absolutely.
Come back to me after that, but I would not be shocked if he ends up in the neighborhood of 220. Jampy, 207.5.
Now he's opening on his competition best.
However, only been competing 2 years, only competed 4 times, so progress comes quick. I understand ordinarily that's a very dicey move.
I'd say even though he's relatively new, and I think it's about 18 months he's been competing, It still worries me to see him opening with the weight. Well, that puts my worries to rest.
Ordinarily, I'd be worried too, but Great Britain has been so on point these World Championships with their attempt selection.
You're right, actually. They've done a great job assessing what they think the athlete's capable of. The athlete thinks he can do anything, but the coach has to look at the opposition, look at what the athlete's doing today.
225 by Emil Krastev. No major surprise that he's opening the heaviest. The real question is, how far can he go? In training, he's gone very deep. And there's discussion, could he possibly take Jonathan Keiko's bench press world record? Usually that's Jonathan Keiko's.
Yeah, absolutely. But he's done 232.5, and his training has gone really well since then.
And today, Emil seems to be on another level.
You don't often see 500 pounds moving at that speed. Could this finally be his day? I think more than anything, the speed that he moved that bench at has convinced me that he is having the day of his life.
$172.5 for Carlos Pedersen Griffith.
Losing a little bit of ground now on bench after leading the way on squat.
And there was a small stutter on the way up. Previously, he's done a good 10 kilos over that. I'm wondering if they're going to be a little more cautious. Take a look at this replay right there. It wasn't heavily pronounced. What do you think, Joe?
I think he's okay. I think he can put another 5 kilos on that. I probably won't put any more.
No, I don't think we're looking for equaling previous PRs at this point. Sletten of Norway, 190.
Well, he's matched his competition best now. We're into PR territory for his third. I think I just saw him ask his coach for 5.
Kwaku, 200 kilos even. Okay,
That was really nice.
205 is his previous personal best. I'd be comfortable with 207.5 the way that moved.
Left arm shaking at the top there. He's shaking quite a bit, but he's moving the bar so well.
Yeah. Christian Ayendokun, 202.5.
Been chipping away at bench recently. Broke through the 200 kilo barrier in Malta this competition last year. That was sticky at the top though.
Yeah. 205 is his personal best, and I think they're going to try to match that in his third attempt.
Yeah, I think so. He's slowed down and he just hit a sticking point right near the top.
America's Brennan Petrie, 207.5. Big 10-kilo jump, but he's hit 212.5.
This match is his second attempt from his national competition in March. And he ended up, as you say, with 212.5 that day.
If he holds serve on bench press, matching that with the 5 extra kilos he picked up from squats. Okay, wow, that's
Slowed down a lot.
slowed down a lot.
Has he brought his grip in to overcome a problem, or was his grip like that at nationals? Because it does look a little bit narrow, and sometimes that might be because they're struggling with shoulder issues or pec issues.
That's a considerable slowdown, and does he lose 5 kilos on bench or more, and that sets him back the 5 kilos he gained on squats. 212.5 for Gustav Hedlund. And things are getting interesting.
Wow.
In comparison, and we have to compare, that was a
Much
12.5
faster.
kilo jump, Joe.
Yeah, and that was much faster. He's got way more left than Petrie.
Gustav, small squat PR. I don't know. Is he gonna, what would he load up on his final?
220 seems a bit of a stretch.
I agree.
217.5 maybe.
Maxwell, 215 kilos for a second attempt.
Now we're already into unknown territory because he matched his best with his opener. That slowed him down a tad. A little bit left to come, I think, though.
$10-kilo jump for Emil Krastev. 235 kilos. The world record stands at 245.5.
Will it be a distraction, though? Will
Yeah.
it encourage him to overreach?
If I'm honest, I think it might be, let's see how this moves. A 10-kilo jump and then an 11-kilo jump. Not usually something you'd see. Yeah, the world record is definitely not there today, but
Yeah, I agree.
lets out a bit of a sigh there.
He did get a red card for elbow depth, so the jury will be leaning in to watch this replay. I think that's good, though. So Krastev leads the way ahead of Jamfi and Hedlund on the bench press.
As we start with the third and final bench, Carlos Peterson Griffith, 177.5 kilos.
We've seen quite a conservative 2.5 kilo increment go in for Krastev's third bench. And I think that's a smart move. He's in the fight for the win here.
Yeah, his facial expressions leaving the platform was not giving me a whole lot of confidence. And Griffith, 3 for 3, but 5 kilos below his personal best. Wonder if he's losing a little bit of steam, if the travel, the last minute big hero cut.
It may be the bench is the thing that's most heavily affected.
He's going to need a monster deadlift if he's going to get on the podium.
Well, that's lucky. He's definitely got one.
195 for Sletton. Oh, wow.
Oh, I was hoping for redemption. That was the weight he missed at the Europeans. Unfortunately, not today.
Came off the chest, but lockout. Just a little too difficult, about an inch away. And 2:05 for Christian Ayandokun of Great Britain. This will equal his previous personal best. 2:02.5 was difficult.
Yes. Nice work from Christian.
Right on point once again for Team Britain.
Interesting yellow card failure from the front. No, we're not seeing it from the front, so we can't really pick up.
There it is. Did he jump a command? He couldn't have jumped a command. He was up there for a while.
Yeah, no idea what that was for.
Don't have the audio, but Kwaku, Canada, 2:07.5. Small 2.5 kilo personal best, if you can hit this.
Hit it, he does.
2-1, it's good. We'll get a replay, but all right, this is from the front. You got a white light. Well, that looks about on the money for me.
Yeah, it looks okay to me.
Brennan Petrie, 210 kilos, 207.5 we thought was tough. 212.5 is his previous personal best, but I think the Americans doing the right decision, only loading 210. And even this is going to be difficult.
He can't afford to miss. That's the reality of it.
This 2.5 kilos might be pivotal later on. Wow, you know what? Looked a lot like his second.
It really did. But he's got all the kilos he could from bench. He can go to work on deadlift.
We had suspected 217.5 for Gustav.
So this matches his best. Yeah, 220 would just be a stretch too far, and you're potentially leaving 5 kilos behind there.
In a battle this close, and Brennan hasn't missed yet. He needs all these kilos to stack up. Wow,
Really nice.
that was convincing. You know what? 2020 hindsight, he might have had 220, but
Maybe
I'm
so.
I'm glad they loaded 217.5.
But you know what? It's Krastev this. Oh, there,
He
what
jumped
was the yellow?
He jumped the command.
Did he?
I wasn't sure
wow.
if he jumped the press command, sorry.
It's difficult to pick up on replay. We don't get the audio. But that's really going to hurt him now.
When it happened live, I had my doubts, and the jury's close enough to hear it. Maxwell, 217.5.
But you know, right now, it's still Krastev ahead, a subtotal ahead of Headland. Petrie is sitting in 4th.
Petrie's
Excuse me, 3rd at subtotal.
Petrie's got a monster deadlift, though. Maxwell, 3 whites.
That's a 10 kilo PB on bench today.
Swedish coaching staff approaching the jury for some clarification. because those are kilos that could be pivotal in the bigger picture.
I'll keep an eye on the jury table.
237.5 for Emil Krastev.
I think what she's saying is he heard a noise and thought it was the command.
Wow. The way that moved, it looked like they could have loaded a little more, but his second attempt wasn't convincing. And I think it was the right move to make based off of what they had in front of them.
So I think the plea for another attempt for Gustav didn't come off. I think the coach was saying to the jury that he heard a noise, thought it was the command, but I think that's hard luck today. So Krastev takes the bench gold, Jamfi the silver, Headland the bronze.
The deadlift is the last movement of the powerlifting competition. On that movement, the lifter's whole body is used and put to the test. The athlete approaches the bar once the central referee calls bar loaded. He then has 1 minute to start the lift. In the conventional or sumo position, the athlete has to pull the barbell until his shoulders, hips, and knees are fully locked. Once that position is assumed by the lifter, the central referee will give the down command. The bar has to be lowered to the ground without the lifter being allowed to drop it until it touches the floor, which completes the lift. At the end of deadlift, the powerlifting total is made, which determines the winner and final placings. There are 4 main mistakes to avoid. First, not locking your shoulders, hips, or knees at the end of the movement. Second, not completing the lift with a single upward bar movement. Third, completing the lift hitching at the legs in order to allow you to do so. Fourth, dropping the bar after the central referee down command.
And welcome back to the IPF World Championships as we look at the 69 kilo subtotals. And Joe, very interesting, coming into this event, we thought Leah Bavois squats would be her event. She leaves the squat event just 1 of 3. However, Carola Gara, we thought, would dominate the bench press event and leaves just 1 of 3.
But we knew that Carola Gara would front load her total. She's a big subtotaler. She's going to start losing ground. She's 30 kilos ahead, 25 kilos ahead right now. But she's going to start losing ground on the deadlift because Leah has the much bigger deadlift.
Another interesting note that could come into play, should they have the exact same total, tie will go to the lighter lifter, and today, that's Leah Bavois.
Leah's been in the class a little bit longer, but Gara has made some body weight gains there. And it's definitely helped her. It has certainly helped her squat. Maybe it's helped her deadlift too.
In terms of the rest of the field, Gabby Martinez with a projected 532.5 after she hits her opening deadlift. However, Annie Nelson of Great Britain will end off with 535. Extremely close battle to get onto the podium. Up first, Cesara Tavares of Brazil, 105.
195.
195, sorry. She's hit 220. This should be within her means, and as soon as these lifters lock in their opening deadlift, total is secure, including all the records they might have broken.
It was a tough break from the floor, but you do see that with sumo.
Patience off the floor, but she limps off the platform. And looks almost like she's being consoled by her head coach. Have to pay attention to that. And Gara, although she benched last, coming out second for the deadlifts, 202.5.
Now her best deadlift raw so far is 212.5. But she's moved up a class now. I'd expect her to do more than that today. But expectations aren't always being met today.
Yeah, and the thing is, the gain in body weight definitely influences the subtotal more than it does the deadlift. It can still influence the deadlift.
You're right.
But how much, we got to manage our expectations, and we'll see what Team Italy does. This is going to come down right to the very last deadlift. Still very difficult to call. We know Leah Bavois and Team France are going to load up for the win. And Marta Chenner, 205 for her opening pull.
Well, she's been at or around 225 at most of her recent competitions. That was nice and easy. Gets a total on the board.
Moves with authority.
I'd expect her to take a decent jump now, maybe up to as much as 220.
America's Gabby Martinez, 210. She's previously hit as high as 232.5. In a fierce battle for the podium with Annie, she's going to need to move this and move it convincingly so Team USA is confident to start making the big jumps necessary.
And this is the heaviest she's ever opened.
Okay.
Wow, that was super snappy.
It was lightning quick. Slow-mo replay, is it going to be able to slow this down much? Take a look at the speed at this opener.
Really, technically quite excellent as well.
And Annie Nelson, 215 for her opening pull.
215, that's incredible. She's never opened heavier than 202.
Where might her deadlift go today?
This is making a real statement for Annie.
If Great Britain can keep pacing Annie to pull after Gabby, she'll have the advantage of knowing exactly what she needs on the bar to pull for that bronze medal, where Team USA somewhat is shooting in the dark.
Wow.
Little sticky at the top, but it moves.
Now she's done 225 before, but looking at the way that moved, I think it's going to be higher than that today.
$215 kilos for Tasman Campbell of Great Britain.
She opened on this in Croatia, but she only ended up on 222.5 that day. So let's see how this moves. Get some idea of where she is. That was fast.
Lightning quick. As I take a peek at the second attempts, Annie Nelson has 225, or Gabby Martinez has 222.5. They opened up with a spread of 5 kilos. I thought Gabby's opener moved a stitch quicker.
I think it did.
The gap is starting to close a bit on seconds, and I'm wondering what's going to happen by thirds. Interesting battle unfolding. As of now, Annie at 535, Gabby at 532.5, and Gabby slightly lighter the body weight.
So Gabby will move ahead if they both get these.
Yeah, if they even on total, Ivana Horna, 217.5.
Now it looked on her face like that was really difficult. She always pulls like that. She makes every deadlift look like a max effort.
She does not have a poker face. And the biggest deadlifter, Leah Babwa, 220 for her opening pull.
Now this is relatively conservative. I'm not sure she did change her opener. Did she go down? Because she opened with 225 at the Sheffield Championships in March.
Her bench was on point, her squats were not. If there's anything along the lines of a tight back, we might see it here.
But she's got work to do to catch up Garrett even now.
There's a snappy pop at the top. It was a wee bit of work. I hate to read into it too much.
So she's still 7.5 behind Garrett after that pull. But she is leading the way on deadlift, 2.5 kilos ahead of Ivana Horner. And look at this, it's Scotland's Tasmin Campbell, currently in 3rd place.
So Sarah Tavares, 207.5 for her second attempt.
And Ryan, you were concerned that she was maybe injured, seems to be having some difficulty. Well, she's taken a decent jump, 12.5 kilo jump. That is stuck to the floor today.
That was, yeah. That was a surprising jump given how she walked off the platform after her opener.
Certainly doesn't look happy.
Carola Gara, 210 kilos, 7.5 kilo jump, and 2.5 kilos below her personal best. Right now, as it stands, her total is 565 kilos. This will bump her up to 572.5.
Well, she's got a little bit of room to grow there.
Difficult to read where her top end is. Back at Sheffield, she made a huge jump to 225, missed that, but somewhere in between is her actual top end.
I think we'll see a little bit of shuffling of places before the day's done. She's put 215 in.
Marta Chenner, 220 kilos for a second attempt.
I was just taking a look for the total record, but of course it's 600, isn't it? With Agata Shitko, who's competing in the 76s tomorrow. So this is typical for Marta to take 220 for her second.
Moved like a second attempt should. And Gabby Martinez from USA, 222.5. Now, if Gabby hits this, her total will be at 545. If Amy Nelson hits her second, her total will be at 545. And Gabby has the lighter body weight. You see how the Americans are strategically placing Gabby, pacing for a podium, but she's got to execute. It's a brilliant strategic battle between the head coaches.
Nelson does have a lot number advantage though, and currently she's pulling second. But you can have all the strategic advances you want, you still have to lift the weight.
she's got more room.
Definitely.
Head coach for USA, Matt Gary. Head coach for Great Britain, Paul Marsh. They're amongst the best in the field at this World Championships. And look at this second pull. Beautifully done. Now we thought amongst openers, Gabby's moved a bit quicker. However,
I think so.
Annie Nelson pulling conventional probably can grind out a little better than Gabby's going to be able to. Pulling sumo, that could be a factor.
I think Gabby is well within the realms of what she's lifted before, though, whereas Annie Nelson is pushing out into unknown territory. But she's looked brilliant today, absolutely on fire. This matches her best ever pulling competition.
Yeah, this is as good as we have ever seen her.
Well,
Still moved well.
it was fast off the floor, as you'd expect from a conventional, but she is just slowing down at that lockout.
Yeah, as we take a look at this replay, very quick off the ground. A little bit slow at lockout. This is going to be a difficult decision for Great Britain to make. Team USA, 237.5 in place for Gabby, but that might just be a placeholder. And 225 for Tasman Campbell of Great Britain. This is a World Masters record.
It's the total record. It's her own record. She took this only quite recently in Croatia at the Europeans in March. And extends it easily.
Yeah. Made some progress since March. $10-kilo jump now for Ivana Horna. Needless to say, if Ivana has to fight, she's good for it. 10 kilos.
Well, she can scrap.
It's a bold second attempt. 225 is her previous personal best. Pardon me, 230.5.
Yep.
You know what, for Ivana, that was pretty smooth.
I think it was. If you look at her face, you think it was absolutely at a maximum effort. But if you look at the way the bar moves, there's no sticking point. That goes, it's a difficult break from the floor, but it goes all the way in one movement.
Defending world champion Leah Bavois, 230 kilos, 10-kilo jump. As she's trying to chase down Carola Gara. Gara, after 2 rounds of deadlifting, has 572.5. If Leah can hit this, she'll be at 567.5. There's a gap, but Leah attempting to mitigate that gap.
World record is 248.5. Not sure we'll see that in range today.
Oh, that was 3 white lights. I needed to be confirmed by the refs at the top.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. There just didn't seem to be that. Yeah, it looks a lot better from that side. It really does, yeah. From this side, it just didn't look like there was that positive pop of lockout.
Very interesting.
Yeah,
I felt the same way.
From the other side, it looked very convincing. So Leah's leading on deadlift from Horner from Campbell.
And if we're judging based off of what we just seen, Carola Gara putting in 5 kilos, should she hit it, will end off with 577.5. Does Leah have enough to catch up? She is the lighter lifter.
See, I wouldn't put 240 past her at all. I think Gara's going to need more than another 5.
Leah needs another 10. 207.5. Kind of surprised to see Tavares come back out. If she is injured, this is not going to help her. Oh my goodness! Are you kidding me? How? How is it even possible at 48 years old? Do you believe in miracles?
That's absolutely superb. I did not give her a chance of getting that.
Unless your last name was Tavares, how did you think that was going to happen? Whoa.
Now I can see Garrett in the wings. This is what she's coming out for.
215 to give,
I don't think it's going to be enough for him.
to give her 577.5. Well, so based off of Leah's second, you think she has 10 more kilos in?
I do.
It's going to be dramatic. Here we are.
Final lift for Carola Gara. I believe she's got this.
It's still 2.5 more kilos than Gara's ever pulled before.
She's got it.
She can be proud of that performance, but now has to wait in the wings to see where is her placement on that podium. Is it enough? You know, we could do the 2020 hindsight, 2.5 more kilos here. And there's an attempt change coming in, and it's probably Leah lowering
it
to
will
240. Wow, this is going to be right down to the very end.
It wasn't Leah, it was Gabby, I think. Yeah, it was Gabby. She's changed to 230.
Leah's will be coming down shortly. 230 for Gabby Martinez.
Now we've seen, Leah just came down to 240. You get 2 changes on your final deadlift. Usually you can't change your attempts. So we're just waiting for those changes to filter through the table.
And there is Gabby Martinez with 230. That'll give her 552.5. And Annie Nelson with 232.5. That'll give her 252.5. But Gabby, the lighter lifter.
I'm surprised that Annie didn't come out with 227, to be honest. 232 seems a lot. But here's Gabby.
Can she force Team Britain's hand?
No. She's left herself wide open, and Annie can come down to 230. As long as she does it quickly before Chenna comes out, because she's got the higher lot number to Martinez but lower to Chenna. So if she is going to come down,
Gabby
she'll have to do it fast.
in a very tentative position for bronze. But you got to think Annie is going to lower that final pull. Team Britain.
She can't lower it now.
Wow. That's surprising. 230 for Marta Chenner of Norway.
And this will take the bronze medal position for the moment. This will knock Gabby Martinez off the podium.
It's going to be a dramatic finish to grab that bronze and ticket to the World Games. Oh!
It's moving. It's still moving.
And Marta Chenner struggles to the lockout.
She's got it. 3 white lights.
3 white lights.
She's on the podium.
550 kilos. And Chenner living
Wow.
up to the hype for so many years. We've been waiting to see this top end from Chenner.
Imagine if she got a second squat. but that position is not safe yet.
No.
There is one person that can knock her off that spot.
Annie Nelson, 232.5.
And the roof just came off the hole. The British team are going crazy.
Should she hit this, it'll be her on her way to the World Games in China with the bronze medal around her neck. It's all come down to this.
Can she lock it?
Oh!
Can she lock it? No!
Just half a second before the down command. And that is about as close as you can get.
That was so very close for Annie Nelson.
Look at this.
She nearly got there.
It's locked, but
And
can't
it just went.
quite get her shoulders back and in place.
That could not have been closer. Marta Jenner going to the World Games. Cannot be knocked off that place now.
232.5 kilos loaded for Tasman Campbell. This will give her a 537.5 kilo total, breaking her world master total.
Wow.
537.5 it is.
There'll be celebrations in Scotland tonight. And we are not done.
237.5 kilos now for Ivana Horna from Slovakia. Ivana attempting to move from fourth to deadlift gold in her final pull.
This would be a comeback story.
Oh wow, gold it is for Ivana Horna.
For the moment.
Yeah. Silver at worst, gold at best in the deadlift event. As Leah Bavois waits in the wings.
Gets a peck off her father, who coaches her. As she leaves. Okay.
The crowd is a hush as defending world champion Leah Bavois loads 240 kilos for the final pull of the day. It is deadlifted gold. It is overall gold.
She will win on body weight.
We promised a close, exciting battle, and right down to the very last deadlift, here we are. Here she comes.
She's on the podium. She's going to the World Games.
She looks almost emotional already.
Can she defend her world title against the world champion who's come up from the weight class below?
A little too much today.
Did not expect that to end so quickly.
No, based off of 230, I thought it was going to be a fight, but unable to break the ground with it. And Leah Bavois, all is not lost. Silver medal still going to China at World Games.
But Carola Garrett is your 69 kilo world champion. Leah Bavois takes the silver, and look at that, Marta Jenner takes the bronze medal.
And that was a bit of a shocker
That was a real shock. I expected that 240 to move at least some way. I expected it to approach lockout. I thought she'd get it, to be honest, the way her second moved.
It was interesting. Leah walked out and appeared as though she was shielding her eyes from the crowd. Had a couple moments to herself. Walked up to the deadlift and...
You think maybe she let the moment get the better of her?
I'm not sure. I hesitate to fill in the blanks. However, all is not lost. Leah, 2-division world champion, will be at World Games, and we will move directly into the 93 kilo class, 320 for Maxwell.
Make short work of that, gets 3 white lights. Current best is 335, but he's blown so far past some of his best lifts tonight. I really don't know what to expect from him. So it's Christian Ayandokan out next.
322.5 kilos for Great Britain's Christian Ayandokan.
He takes big jumps on deadlift though.
It's risky.
And it has bitten him before, but he'll take a 20 or even a 30 kilo jump.
As a lifter, if you know you only got a few top end pulls in you, you conserve the energy. However, while you have the energy for that pull and it's a big pull, if you miss, you fall way back. And what are your thoughts when you see that opener, Joe?
I think he put maybe 25 kilos on it. Maybe wasn't as fast as he would have liked.
Yeah.
But that is the typical way he trains and he competes.
Kwaiku of Canada, 325.
So he's gone up 15, that's quite conservative for Christian.
Maybe he wasn't overly convinced himself with
Yeah,
that deadlift speed.
fair point. Three white lights for Kwaku.
$327.5 for Emil Krastov of Bulgaria. Once he hits this, it'll bring his total to $877.5 and put him temporarily into first place if everybody should hit their firsts. However, Brandon Petrie, amongst the big three, is the biggest deadlifter. And then, of course, we have Carlos. Wow.
Wow. Now, I've seen him do 345 in training, Brian. I'm not sure if you've seen him do even more than that, but the way that opener moved.
I hesitate to even try to guess. Training numbers have lied to me before, but
It's
Emil having such a fantastic squat and bench press session. And Gustav Hedlund, 327.5 for his opening pull. If him and Brandon Petrie both hit their openers, they will be neck and neck at 867.5.
But Petrie will have way more headroom, I think, than Gustav.
Petrie is also the later lifter. and the bigger puller.
That looked good. But that leaves Gustav 10 kilos behind Krastev right now. And Krastev has put 3:45 in for his second.
$337.5 for Brendan Petrie. Brennan has pulled 367.5. But he beat his previous best squat earlier today. I'm assuming he's going to have more than that later on if he needs it. Wow.
He's made a statement there.
Wow. Check out the speed on this pull.
Game on.
Sletton, 340 kilos.
This is a massive opener for him. He went 330, 350 at the Europeans. Not had his best day today. That was tough for an opener. That was tough at the top.
You had said that it appeared as though this was a big weight for him to be opening with. Was he a little overly ambitious? Yeah, that looked like a second.
It did.
And a difficult second. 345 for Carlos Pedersen Griffith. Listed as 360 kilos on the platform best, but in the gym he's hit well beyond that. But definitely not under these conditions. After he hits this, his total will be at 860 kilos, putting him temporarily into fourth place.
7.5 behind Petrie and Headland, with Krastev another 10 kilos out in front.
Oh, wow, okay. Perhaps he has the strength after all. 3 white lights, and the swagger is back, ladies and gentlemen.
He must be running on fumes, how he's doing this. Huge journey from the other side of the world. Gets here barely in time, makes weight barely in time. Gets the squat world record. So he's leading the way in the deadlift table ahead of Sletton and Petrie.
And as we take a look at the second attempts, Emil Krastev, should he hit his 345, will already be equal to the open world record of 895.
Wow.
Petrie and Headland behind him at 887.5 and 882.5, respectively.
Yeah, but Pedersen will move ahead of Gustav.
Yeah, with 885.
He's taken a massive jump, 25 kilo jump to 370.
And just 2.5 kilos behind Petrie. It would be incredible should he catch up like this. Maxwell, 335. Slows that lockout, but he gets it.
Sitting in 5th place right now. I mean, for a lifter that's not been around for very long, to be sitting in 5th place in a field like this is nothing short of incredible.
Christian Ayandokun, 337.5 kilos.
So he opened a bit heavier than usual, but he's around about where he usually is on his second. Taking a smaller jump. Oh, and that moved well.
A little bit of confidence being regained. And a more conservative attempt selection by Christian, and that did move well, maybe as quick as his opener. Gustav Hedlund up next, 342.5 kilos, historically speaking. 355 was his top end. Gustav off to a fast start, but currently pacing for bronze, but it's tight.
But this will get him ahead with the rest of the field, rest of the front runners anyway, still to put in their second deadlifts. So that's the important thing. He gets ahead here, and then everyone else has to hit to get past him.
Team Sweden maneuvering their lifter.
But it's a disadvantage being one of the first of the front runners to come out to deadlift. Don't know what anyone else is going to do.
Emil Krastep, 345 kilos in only his second attempt.
But his opener flew. It was so fast. And he's looked in just in such great shape today.
He will already be at 895 kilos.
This could be his day. Oh my word.
And I tell you what, 895 achieved on his second attempt, and there's a lot more in the tank.
He has got a lot left. So he's matched, as you say, Gustav Hedlund's world record. He's finally having the day he's been looking for all this time.
How far can he take it? Judging off that 345, Joe, what would you think?
He's got another 10 for sure. He's put another 10 in. But whether that will be enough with the way some of these deadlifters are coming from behind.
Kweku, 345, 20 kilo jump.
Now a blue card from one of the side referees. That can either be for downward movement or supporting on the legs. I don't think there was downward movement. So if the bar rests on the legs, which I don't think it did, to be honest, I think that'll be okay. Looks different from every angle, and we have the referees arrayed around the platform.
Sletton, 350 for his second attempt, 10 kilo jump.
His opener was tough though, frankly. He has done this weight before. He pulled this in Croatia. think he should have just moderated his attempt selection today. He's clearly not having the day he expected. He's not been on top form at all.
Yeah, you got to make adjustments. Come in with a plan A, B, and C.
Because he's got nowhere to go now. He can't take that weight down.
Brendan Petrie, 357.5. This is a big 20-kilo jump for him.
And this will move him ahead of Gustav Hedlund.
He'd still be behind Emil Krastev, but he's closing the gap. However, he's also got people behind him closing the gap in Carlos Peterson Griffith. There's opposition ahead of him and behind him, but he needs these 20 kilos.
Looking more focused for this lift. That's slowed him down a lot.
That's surprising. It's 3 white lights, but let's take a look at this replay. There does not look to be a lot more in the tank here. Take a look at this pull and attention to his left hand. It's coming out of his left, and the down command coming right at the right time. A moment or two more, that would have came right out of his grip. That's
so
surprising.
He's in second place right now.
A tentative second, though.
But I don't know how much he'll be able to respond to.
As Carlos loads 370, he'll end up in bronze medal position. We're in the second attempts, obviously, but 885 with Petrie at 887.5, but doesn't appear to have a whole lot more in the tank.
Given the externals, though, is this ambitious? Is this overly ambitious to put 370 on for his second?
Right. Absolutely right.
We said it for his squat, though, didn't we?
He's a tough guy to call.
But that fatigue has got to hit him at some point.
You gotta love it. Home sweet home. Can he take it to the promised land? And he's a fighter, Joe.
But he can't lock it. He can't lock it. That's heartbreaking.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Let's hope that's just a bit of cramp. Oh, dear.
No, I don't think that's just a bit of a cramp.
That's a real shame. But you know, what a hero. He's got the squat world record. He got a deadlift in, so he's secured that squat world record. But that's hard to see. So Krastev is leading the way with 895. Petrie is on 887.5. Hedlund on 882.
.5 being loaded for Maxwell. We assume one of the big contenders is pulled out in Carlos Peterson Griffith, but what a remarkable story, taking a world record in the situation he showed up in.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it's a difficult thing. The 370 that would have been there any day in the gym, when you've been through what he's been through, just wasn't there.
Just 2.5 kilos for Maxwell.
Jamfi's been impressive today. For a lifter at his first World Championships, not a huge amount of experience under his belt, sitting in 5th place.
This will bump him up to 4th.
Oh, not quite. Just couldn't quite get his shoulders back. Gets his hips through, but that shoulder just sags at the top.
Christian Ayandokun, 347.5 for his final pull.
Christian's done 360. So Either he's been dealing with something, things aren't going quite as well as he would have liked, but this will still get him ahead of Peterson Griffith, get him up to 4th.
Team Great Britain trying to nudge the lifters ahead. Every spot is some more team points. I think it's a sensible option. 322.5 wasn't entirely smooth. 337.5 looked better. But it's a bit of a mixed bag in this deadlift event for Christian. Looked about right.
So Christian moves up to 4th place for the moment at least. I'm just trying to figure out if anyone can come past. We're assuming that Carlos is out. The way he limped off the platform, it's hard to think that he'll come back out for another attempt at 370.
I believe Team USA has 374 as a placeholder for Petrie, and he wants to see Emil Krastev with 355, and if he can hit it, as well as Gustav Hedlund has a placeholder of 362.5. I don't believe it. He wants to pull last, and he's going to pull for the win.
Now, I'm not sure that Trygve Sletten is coming out for this.
No, I think that's a good idea as well. And I would be shocked if Carlos Peterson Griffith comes out for his 370, the way he limped off the platform for 370 on the second attempt.
I mean, there's a small chance that it was just a cramp, but I agree with you, it looked more serious than that. And it's the burden of the externals all building up now.
But when we look at the attempt selection by Team Bulgaria, USA, and Sweden, all of the lifters hitting the first and second attempts. Krastev in the lead, but he will come out first.
And he will come out next.
Yeah. 355. Should he hit this, 905 for his total. Breaking the total world record.
This will be his first open world record. But 345 moved well. I'd give him another 10.
Yeah. No, I think it's, if I'm a betting man, I'm betting it's there. This might just put it out of reach for Gustav and Petrie. And he might have,
well, that changes everything.
Another last second shakeup.
So we will have attempt changes running through the scoreboard now.
Just as I was about to say, he might have just convinced Team USA and Sweden to battle it out for silver. It comes out of his hands, and he stands at 895.
He equals but does not break the total world record. That's still in Gustav Hedlund's hands.
So Gustav Hedlund and Team Sweden now loading up 355 kilos, something he's previously hit to tie Emil Krastev on total, but best him on body weight.
Petrie is even lighter than the other two as well.
Expect Petrie to hang back and see what happens with Team Sweden and Gustav Hedlund.
This gets Gustav ahead, pulling for the lead. And he's in familiar territory. He's done this before.
Gustav nudges his way with authority into the gold medal position, forcing the hand of Team USA to answer the call. Whoa!
He is forcing Brandon Petrie to load up a ridiculous number to try and get past.
It's going to be a big ask. 357 and a half was threatening to come out of Brendan's hand, and he's got to load 365 to tie on total and win on body weight. However,
Now, he's done 367 and a half, hasn't he?
a little bit of motivation, a little bit of inspiration. It's doable. But first, Kweku, 355, move him into deadlift silver, 7th overall.
Not quite there today. Okay. We have our two front runners on 895. Could we end up with the entire podium
Look,
on 895?
We saw this with the 66 kilo class, and we have almost a repeat performance. 365 kilos for Brandon Petrie. He has previously hit 367 and a half. It is within his means if he could hang on to it. Pay very close attention to that left hand. The crowd behind him. Oh, wow.
He's got the support.
Oh, wow.
His second was work, but he had a little bit more. Will this be decided in the weigh-in room?
Oh! It's caught! Just that
got
left
it.
hand again.
Gustav Hedlund takes his first world title.
It almost doesn't even sound right to say it. Gustav Hedlund, a legend in the game already, his first world title.
I hesitated as I said it because it didn't sound right. Such a great lifter.
Long overdue in a lot of people's minds, and we got to think Carlos isn't coming out to this.
He's in the wings, Ryan. He's in the
just,
wings.
How? I don't even know if this is advisable.
Maybe he's going to give the crowd a wave.
No, he looks like he's chalking his hands.
Oh my word.
My goodness.
How many surprises can one man give us?
Yeah. He's something else, isn't he? He's a beauty. He doesn't have a limp when he's walking out. He might when he's leaving, though. Holy smokes.
Maybe it was just a cramp.
Oh.
I mean, this won't give him the podium.
No,
I think
but
the competition's moved on.
it won't win him any medals, but it'll win him over the crowd, I am sure.
He's clutching his leg again.
And he is made of stern stuff. And there it is. Let's talk about the battle of the 93s that lived up. Gustav Hedlund, the world champion, Emil Krastev with silver, and America's Brandon Petrie in the bronze. Come back to the medal ceremony of the IPF World Championships 2024. 93 kilo and 69 kilo World Championships, and what a battle it was. A swing of momentum back and forth, surprises right to the very end as the best lifters of the world make their way to the platform in the 69 kilo class. This is the medal ceremony. We will begin in the squat event, just like we do in the competition. IPF President Gaston Parage getting ready to hand out the medals. And in the bronze medal position for the 69 kilo class, representing Great Britain, Annie Nelson with a 205 kilo squat. Annie came into this competition, some of the best preparations in her life, and rewarded with the bronze medal in squat. Defending world champion Leah Bavois, representing France, left the squat event with just one squat on the board, her opener, but good enough for the silver medal position. And the new overall champion, Carola Gara, squatting 222.5 kilos and taking the gold.
That was not what we expected to see at all.
On to the bench press event in the 69 kilo class, and Leah Bavois, 125 kilos.
That's a great result for Leah.
In the silver medal position, Marta Chenner, 130 kilos, representing Norway. Marta coming into this competition, living up to all the potential.
Looked like she wasn't going to do so well after she only got one squat in.
Regained her poise. Carola Gara, 140 kilos in the bench press, good enough for gold. And of course, the deadlift event. France's Leah Bavois, 230 kilos, taking the bronze.
Expected to do a little bit more in the last pull, it just didn't seem to be there for her.
Tasman Campbell of Great Britain, 232.5 kilos at 40 years old, clinching the silver.
Of course, that got her the Masters 1 total world record too.
And Slovakia's Ivana Horna, 232.5 kilos, taking the gold.
And now, thank you ladies, for the overall, that's a crown on you, 69 kilo.
And now the overall. In the bronze medal position, with a 550 kilo total, representing Norway, Marta Chenner. Each of these lifters getting the panda, representing their invite to the World Games 2025 being held in China.
And of course, Chengdu, China, that is the home of the giant panda.
Leah Bavois, 567.5 kilos, good enough for silver medal position.
Which means that the new world champion
And the new two-weight class world champion, Carola Gara, with 577.5 kilos, your 2024 69 kilo world champion representing Italy.
Of course, often overlooked in Classic because she spends some of her time in equipped. She focused on equipped to go to the World Games in 22. She can do it in raw. She can do it classic in 2025.
I don't think anybody's going to be overlooking her now.
Well done, ladies. Great job. Thank you.
And we will stand for the Italian national anthem.
Please be upstanding for the national anthem of Italy.
As the ladies exit the podium. And Joe, your impression of the Battle of the 69s, did it live up to your expectations?
It didn't go as I expected. I expected Leah to get the squat world record. I expected Garrett to push a bit further ahead on bench. So it wasn't how we expected it to go, and I also expected Leah to get that final deadlift. But I've got a lot of admiration for Carola Garevs. I saw her take the gold medal at the World Games in Birmingham, Alabama in 22. She's such a phenomenal lifter, both classic and equipped. So hard to do both that I'm not surprised she's on the top step.
And entering the stage now, the 93 kilo men.
And they gave us even more surprises.
At the far right, Gustav Hedlund. Since 2018, we've seen Gustav Hedlund at these World Championships. Time and time again competing.
Being on the podium so many times.
Yeah, finally netting that overall gold. But first, the squat medals. Gustav, 327.5. Good enough for bronze. And from the B group earlier today, Bentala with 327.5 as well, nudging Gustav for that silver on body weight. And Carlos Pedersen Griffith, 337.5, taking gold in a world record.
Well done, gentlemen. Thank you. And now to match press.
Yeah, taking that squat world record back, it must be a powerful consolation for him. I know he came to win, but he had the cards stacked against him.
In the bench press event, in the bronze medal position, Gustav Hedlund with 212.5 kilos. John Fee of Great Britain, 217.5.
Takes a medal at his first World Championships.
And Emil Krastev of Bulgaria, 237.5, netting the gold.
Great job, gentlemen. Thank you. And now to deadlift. Thank you. In bronze medal position.
And the deadlift event, in the bronze medal position, Christian Ayandokun of Great Britain, 347.5 kilos. In the silver medal position, representing Sweden, Gustav Hedlund with 355 kilos. And in the gold medal position, Brennan Petrie of the United States of America, 357.5 kilos.
Can't be unhappy with his performance today.
It's his first World Championships. I'm sure we'll see him back again. And your overall podium. In the bronze medal position, with an 887.5 kilo total, Brennan Petrie of the USA. In his very first World Championships, hitting the podium, punching his ticket to the World Games. And Emil Krastev, 895 in the silver medal position.
You know, I thought he had it this time. I thought it was going to be Emil. I thought he had that final deadlift and it just sprang out of his hands at the last minute.
But gold medal position, 93 kilo world champion, Gustav Hedlund with 895 kilos, winning on body weight. As we stand for the Swedish national anthem.
Please be upstanding for the national anthem of Sweden.
As the 93s exit the podium, join the rest of the pack and exit the platform.
So did that pan out how you expected, Ryan?
The podium itself is the cast we expected.
Yep.
Whom at the top of the podium, definitely Gustav was a favorite. Please do join us at 2 p.m. European Central Time on Sunday. This concludes our broadcast.